Hello, hello. Welcome to today's art class. We are going to be learning all about value in watercolor, which means how light and how dark you can go. And we're going to be creating a scene using value to show perspective. We're going to be doing a monochromatic forest scene. All right. So, welcome. Today is our third to last watercolor adventure in the live sessions from the Fall for Watercolor series. If you haven't joined already, make sure that you sign up with the link below. We are going to be announcing the prizes on Halloween here in these live streams. So get psyched. My assistant Izzy is tallying all of your entries as they come in. It is so exciting to see everybody's stuff. So make sure that you leave a little comment if you're attending today, either live or later, just so that I can count your attendance as an entry for the giveaway. Okie doke. So value, I'm going to get a little practice sheet here. Is talking about how light and how dark we're going. So I want you to just kind of pick your favorite color today. Is it too aggressive to do dragon's blood? I feel like it is. You know what? I actually really want to try out this Paraline green. Is that what I want to do? I don't know. I should have thought this through. Okay. I'm actually going to do the Paraline green from Winsor & Newton. It's just one color. It's like this really beautiful deep green. Let me get my little palette. Oh my gosh, y'all. All right. Here, let's put it right here. All right. So I'm just going to plop this on the plate here. And this is going to give us a chance to really explore this one color. So go ahead and get your paints like nice and juicy. And we're going to be working on different ways to kind of blend out the colors. So when we're practicing on our little practice sheet, you can do a nice dark saturated line. So lots of paint, a little bit of water. I'm going to clear off my brush here. And I'm going to use the tip of my brush to touch that edge and connect. And by just using the tip of my brush to connect to that spot that I already added water to, it's going to make sure that the paint doesn't spread uncontrollably. And my brush, when I'm doing that, it's just kind of damp. So it's like a conduit for, is that the right word? For bringing the paint across, but it's not a flood, okay? And here I'm using a pretty dry brush just to kind of coax the paint along. So other ways that we can soften edges is to create kind of a water barrier. And we've talked about all of this in different contexts, but it's going to be really fun today to kind of put it into perspective. So this is going to be cool to make kind of like a misty background. So we're going to be doing pine trees or evergreen trees. This way you can bring this little lesson here into winter as well. So see, you kind of have like a little pine tree and maybe it's like in fog. And maybe this one's like not in fog, but like maybe a little bit, you know? And then this one's like sort of just in fog. So we get the idea of it, but it's not totally, you know, fully, you know, what's the word? Fully doing its thing, whatever. Okie doke. So here we are. Let's go ahead and dive in. So when we're looking at, we are going to be making a scenery. So in the background, it's going to be very very light. So if imagine you're looking out at like the mountainscape or something, the further away something is, the lighter it's going to be. There's more space, there's more atmosphere in between you. If it's a foggy day, you can hardly see it. Here in Washington, we are always excited when we can see Mount Rainier peeking out. Um, but the things in close are going to be much darker. So we're going to kind of do the things far away up here, and then we're going to work our way down. Before we get started, let's just kind of talk a little bit about an evergreen tree and how you're going to make that shape. So I'm using a round brush, and I like to sort of give myself a little idea of where my stem is, just so I'm going in a straight-ish line. And then I take my brush and I just kind of skitter it back and forth along that line. Okay. It's, not like height of realism or anything, but you can definitely tell what that is. And what's really fun is all of this is sort of connected, but not necessarily. So you can always come in with water or add more pigment. Maybe I really want to like add some dark depth here. I can always come back in with a little more saturated brush. So those are some really fun ways to make a little pine tree. Okay, so in the back, we're going to focus kind of in this upper third. We're not going to do too many layers here because you could do like a gazillion, right? But we're just going to do a few. I am, oh golly, going in hard, not cleaning my brush. Woo! All right, let's try that again. So I'm coming in just with like a little bit of water, and I'm kind of making where my murky clouds are going to be. And we're going to make this really light. So get your paint puddles so that it's like mostly water and just a little bit of paint. And let's go ahead at the top. These are going to be the smaller ones, okay? These ones are going to be really small, maybe up on a mountain or something. It's really light. We can hardly see it. Okay. Then I'm just going to kind of fade out this background here. Let's see, by adding some water to the bottom. So this, I mean, you can hardly see it, I think, from the camera now that I'm looking at the screen, but can you see how we've got a little bit, just a little kind of doodly-doos of trees? Okay, I'm kind of imagining back here there's like maybe some mist that you can't really see through the treetops. So maybe we've got like a little bit of definition here. But we're not really seeing much at all. And this, I mean, you can hardly see it. I should probably do it a little bit darker so you can see it. In person, it shows up a little bit more, but that's okay. Okay. So I like what we got going on here. I'm starting to work my way down. And I'm adding just kind of these shapes of trees. This is like the first layer is just a little, like a little ghost of a tree. This is just our base so that we're not working on a blank white page. This is really loose. Don't sweat it, okay? We're going to be very casual. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and blow dry this. I might actually just kind of mist that out a bit. So we've got like a little bit more of a background situation happening here because I just don't love a big white page. So just tapping my brush here. We're getting some nice little foliage. I don't know what is going on upstairs. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my little tinies are just going wild. Okay, so I'm going to mute this and blow dry. All right, so the reason why we're blow drying here is because we want to build on this base layer. We don't want this to be wet because then the two layers wouldn't really be two layers. It would just be one. So we're working in a glaze. Now in my paint puddle, I am mixing up an area that has a little bit more pigment in it, okay? So there's more pigment, but there's still a lot of water. So the first one I kind of think of as like basically water or like weak tea. This one is maybe like a little bit more like coffee, thinking less about the color, but more about the consistency. So let's go ahead and imagine like we're kind of creating the second to last layer of trees. So I'm going to go ahead and make my little, oh golly, where my stem might be. And this is still pretty light. I'm just going to dance my tree across my page. And I'm kind of doing like almost a zigzaggy shape. You know, no trees are, they're all irregular, right? So you don't sweat about making it perfect. No such thing. All right. So that's that. I'm not going to go too far down on there. I guess I could go like maybe a little bit more. Okay. Let's see. Let's do one like right there. And we're imagining these trees as they get closer to us, not only are they getting darker, but they are also, this is a really wild one. It's seen some better days. That's okay. They're also getting larger. So as we continue to add our layers, we'll be able to make these larger, more robust. All right, and I'm using my Princeton Aqua Elite brush today. All right, I kind of want these edges to just like fade away. So I'm just adding some water down at the bottom to help give a little bit of that fade out. Okay, so you see we have some in the background. Okay, and then we have a little bit in this layer. So let's go ahead and blow dry it. Mute. Okay, that is dry enough. So now as we're mixing in our paint puddle, we're adding in a little bit more paint. Okay, so this is getting darker. So think about it kind of the consistency of milk. Milk is getting more opaque, but it still flows smoothly. So that's what we're going for here. Okay, so I think I'm going to do one like right here. And my trunk is starting to get a little bit bigger because we're up close. Maybe coming a little bit further down. Okay. So let's go ahead and make our little wiggles. And it doesn't have to be symmetrical, right? This is, you know, a tree in the wild. So let the paintbrush just kind of dance. This is, don't think about it too hard. Just kind of swoopy swoop it, even if you're just like going like that. I think that's good. And sometimes it's good to let the trunk show. Other times you want to kind of pepper over it with your brush. Oh my goodness, this is just giving me like serious fall winter vibes. I think I'm jonesing for a little Christmas here. Oh, no, not yet, not yet. Sorry, I'll wait for the 1st. I'll wait for November 1st. That seems like appropriate. Okay, and then I'm gonna do like a little side one here. Okay, maybe we're getting like some little side action. I wish I had put some painter's tape on here, but you know, it is what it is. I just think it would have made a nice little frame around it, but we're not getting too wet and wild, so it's not gonna warp too much. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's go. Yeah, so if you didn't know the answer to my question today, favorite season, I do really like fall. But come November 1st, you've unlocked peak Kate. Okay. So let's blow dry this one. But do you see how I'm gonna add like a little bit more width to this tree here. Oh, and there's gonna be like a little bloom there, and I don't hate it. I love a little texture. Okay, so let's put that on pause for the audio, and I'm gonna blow dry. Okay, that is dry enough. So let's go back in. We are once again going to add more paint to our mixture. So this, I would say, is kind of like cream. Okay, so we've gone from coffee to tea to milk. Now we're at cream. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a big one right here. We're getting closer to the front of our image, so things are getting darker. And this one's kind of coming off the top of the screen. Whoa, nope, not screen. This is paper. Hello, we're analog here. All right, so here, this one's bigger, this one's taller, it's darker. My trunk is a little more robust. And you'll see as I'm going through, the paint will lighten once I put it in the, once I dry it, paint will get much lighter as it dries. Okay, so we're going all the way to the bottom with this one. Whoop. Okay, I like that. Okay, we're getting a nice kind of layering situation here. And I might put like another little, maybe some right here. Like it's coming off the side. Okay, we're getting close to our final layer here. Okay, I'm just gonna fill this in over here with just a light kind of watery wash. I just added a little bit of water to fill that out and give us a nice framing element for this piece here. Let me back that up a little bit so you can get a full sense of it. Okay, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, so hold on. Okie dokie. So now for the last one, we have gone through coffee, tea, milk, ooh, cream. Hi, VS. Oh, favorite season is spring. Ooh, yay. Well, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do a spring challenge. Because that would be really fun. Okay, so now we're working on butter, and I think butter works best. This is the consistency we're going for. Butter works best, I think, with a wet paint. It's basically just picking up the paint almost like an acrylic. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna imagine we've got like a little sapling here. So oh gosh, it's like the final layer, and I always I'm like. Ooh. So let's get my little guide. Okay. That's where my paint is going to be. And I am going to, this one's just like a little cutie, nothing, kind of like a awkward teenager of a tree. Kind of wish I didn't put it like right in the middle, but that's okay. I don't know. It is what it is. I don't hate it. We'll probably make another darker one off to the side just to give it a little bit more balance. This is like our little baby. Because we are closer. It should be bigger, but because we're making like a little baby one, it's okay that it's a little short. Okay. I think that's good. Let's do a little more, get some more butter in there. Okay, nice. Not actual butter, just consistency of butter. Okay, so now we're going to add like a really dark kind of layering over here as if like the tree is we're like peeking through the branches of this one. And you'll see like as we worked down to the bottom, we just got kind of messy. And that's okay because we're basically covering it up with this very dark coverage. So this will take up more of your paint, just FYI. Okay, so I'm loving that. I'm actually even going to drop in some more color right there. And let's even do a little bit right here too. I'm actually, might even need more paint. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to use all that paint. But today we are. All right. So let's get just a smidgy more. Because we are doing some serious painting today. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Yesterday we were doing like a very detailed one, right? And today we're mixing it up a little bit. This one's like much more interpretive, much more loose. I kind of want some of the boughs here to overlap there. I'm going to go really dark here at the bottom. You have a couple little light spots where the light might be shining through the trees. But I can even go over this with even more paint and adding extra layers of detail and depth, just kind of flouncing it in there, which is totally the official word, flouncing. All right. And that, my friends, is your monochromatic fall, I guess it's kind of like any season evergreen forest. We talked about value, so light to dark, how adding, this is Perylene Green by Winsor & Newton. I love, love, love this color. I've used this in a couple of the kits. This is definitely in the Winter Woods kit. So we worked from light to dark. We talked about how we can equate the, favorite green. We can equate the consistency of our paints to various liquids. So water is just water. Tea is kind of a light amount of paint, a lot of water. Coffee is a little bit more, but still transparent. We've got milk that still flows, but is starting to be opaque. We have cream that is really thick, so that's going to have a lot more pigment in it, and it's not going to like flow on your palette as smoothly. And then we've got butter, which is just basically digging right into the pigment, right into the paint, and that's how we get this very dark. And as we move from the background, where we're light, to the foreground, where we're dark. So we combine a lot of cool skills and techniques and like art theory, like color theory and stuff like that. So we combine a lot of techniques to create this cool dynamic piece. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a short one, but a good one. On Monday, we will be back and we're going to be painting as if we're looking like up into a forest and all the leaves are there. And we're going to be talking about how to push that perspective to give us the feeling that we're on the ground. And then after that, we have one more day. So don't forget to tag me so we can count your entries in all the things. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy painting. All right. Bye.